industry's longest-running social media marketing news talk show. Not only will you learn the latest breaking news, but you'll also gain practical advice on how to apply it. Now here's your host, Christian Karasevich.
So welcome everyone to episode 195 of Social Chatter, your weekly social media marketing talk show. This is going to be a fantastic show. Two of my favorite people on this week, Phil Gerbyshak is coming back this week, co-hosting. And then we've also got Jessika Phillips. She is the president, CEO, and founder of Now Marketing Group. Fantastic person to get to know. Friend of mine, and she's also got a conference coming up next week. It's the Social Media Week Lima conference. This is the 2019 version. I've had the opportunity to speak there before. It's a fantastic conference. Lots of great people. I know she's done a terrific job just continuing to build it up. So I highly recommend it to everyone who is watching, whether you're at Facebook, watching at facebook.com/social chefs, or on YouTube, youtube.com/social chefs as well. But I'm going to go and bring on Phil. Phil, how are you doing?
What's up, Christian? I'm doing great, buddy. How are you doing?
Doing fantastic. You know, we've got a great show for everybody this week. But before we begin, you want to take a minute to tell viewers about our guest?
Yeah, so Jessika Phillips is, as you mentioned, super fantastic, really smart. She hosts when I'm not available sometimes, and she's all over the internet with Now Marketing Group, and just a super duper smart person. We're really excited she's here. As you said, next week, Social Media Lima, which she turned from a little itty bitty, like, what's Lima? Like, that's Lima, Peru. No, it's not. It's Lima, Ohio. And she's turned it into probably the most successful, most fun, most desirable social media week in the country, and really cool stuff. She turns it up to 11 every single year, making it better and better. And we're just excited that she's here today.
So I'm going to go ahead and bring her on while we do a couple of things backstage. But Jessika, how are you doing?
Hey, so good. How are you?
Hopefully you're not losing your voice there, because I know you've got the big conference next week.
No, my mind, not my voice yet. So, but it was, speaking of voice though, that was the first time I've seen your intro, and I was like, why is my voice playing? And I forgot all about it. Yeah. So seeing your intro, that was really cool. I love it. It turned out great.
I want to say thank you again so much for taking the time to record that.
Oh no, my pleasure.
It's fantastic, and I'm excited about that. So, but I think viewers are gonna definitely, they're in for a treat, because you're just a fantastic person. You're a big giver. You're always just helping out with things, sharing your knowledge and whatnot. So thank you very much for your friendship and everything that you do. So,
thank you guys. Aw. That's why I come on here. Just get the love in the morning.
That's it.
I love it.
So, Phil, where do y'all want to go, by the way, this week? We had a lot of topics to talk about. We had some real surprising news that Snapchat actually had a whole host of updates. But where do you want to start this week, by the way?
Well, let's start with some YouTube love. Pick one of the YouTube questions there, or topics, Christian, either one, because I think they're both really interesting ones. It's interesting that YouTube continues to move and groove and really trying to do more with mobile, making it more and more Snapchat, Instagram-like. So pretty soon, should we call it SnapTube or YouInnerTube? Or Jessika, what do you think? Should we just rename it to Snapagram, YouTubery, or what?
I think we just need to name all of them like one big blob of names together, because it seems like as soon as one rolls out with a cool feature, they're like, oh, but we can do that, and we can do that better, and check us out. So yeah, it's just, I don't know.
A lot of just, hey, me too. No, I can do that too. Yeah, I can too, right?
YouTubeagram. Yeah.
Yeah, YouTubeagram. There we go. with a side of Snap.
There you go. Oh, there we go. We need to brand that right now.
That's it. Yep.
That's the gift right there.
That's it.
So what do we have going on, by the way? So what are the updates for YouTube this week? I mean,
well, let's start with the first one, right? The fact that now they're putting stickers and they're adding things to the mobile, I think is, again, this is news because YouTube's doing it, but it's not like, oh my gosh, I've never seen this. This is revolutionary. Holy crap. Can you change my life a little bit more with a sticker? Mm-hmm. So no, but I do think, to that point, the fact that now that they make it easier for us, I think just makes a lot of sense. It just makes it a lot smarter for those that are using YouTube to be a little bit more friendly. And by those, I don't mean sadly, I don't know that many businesses are going to be excited about this, but I do think a lot of creators are, which will then, if they partner with a business, could be really cool. I don't know. Jessica, what do you think?
I do think it's a smart update for the stories feature. One, I like their version of stories because it lasts for 7 days, versus some of the others that are like gone in 24 hours. And I do think if creators could get smart about partnering with brands as far as an influencer is concerned, because Instagram's kind of stole a lot of that thunder, that they could get super creative with it. So maybe it's like, they're featuring a product and then tagging another creator. So the big thing about the stickers is that you can tag other creators. So you can link to another creator. So if they did kind of a round robin around the creators, if you will, maybe sponsoring a brand product, I could see this being really cool. So like if a brand thought ahead and was like, okay, I want to work with these 7 creators to really do a big splash, it almost takes me back to like the Wave Around the World, what Wave Video did. And they picked all these, creators to go live, that I could see them really taking stories to the next level. But brands are just going to have to get creative, as with everything that rolls out, to think, how can I maximize this feature that maybe doesn't seem so cool to me, or businessy to me. But with YouTube being the second largest search engine, I could really see them getting creative about how to use it, and creators leveraging that to say, hey, we already have a partnership and a community here, that if you work with me, you're going to get these 5 other creators, and this is my leverage. Here's how I draw them together.
Interesting.
Yeah, you're already seeing them do that video, so why not stories?
For sure. That makes sense. Christian, what do you think, bud?
I think this is a fantastic update. Again, as Jessica mentioned, this is a hard thing for a business to wrap their head around. Like, hey, how does this actually benefit me? Because it's mainly for creators. If I'm not someone that has, millions of subscribers or even 1,000 subscribers, because it is a hurdle to get on YouTube and get that audience built, I might not see any purpose in this. But you have to think about it like this. If I'm using Instagram, I'm using Facebook stories, doesn't matter which stories platform, the feature's already there on these platforms. So now YouTube is adding it. And I think it's a fantastic update from YouTube that they're doing this, because it helps you build, and Jessica, I'm going to borrow this from you, it helps you build relationships with people.
Exactly. And gets more people using it, because I don't think very many businesses for sure know it exists, but it gets more creators. Of course, you're getting tagged in it, you're going to check it. So you're right. It will build relationships.
And I think YouTube is actually a lot more fun to use stories on. Way more fun than me watching Instagram or Facebook stories. And I say that because a lot of people, when they make YouTube videos, they have personality behind that video. You tune into their video series. On Instagram, I don't feel like I have that with people. IGTV is out, but hey, a lot of people aren't using it. So I think this actually works much better for YouTube.
Yeah. And I love that some of the updates, like too, when you can post, like it all shows in one stream, right? Like that's what I love about it. One thing I did not see in this update though, is could you tag potentially someone that's not, doesn't have 1,000 followers, or can you only tag others that have unlocked the story feature? That's one thing I didn't see in there.
I'm not sure on that one. I don't know the, what the requirements are necessarily for that to allow people to tag other people. But I think, again, that YouTube's also in a way trying to raise the bar on the quality of people that they allow to use their features. They don't just, they took the monetization piece away because, hey, you didn't have a certain number of subscribers, a certain number of hours of video watched, because at the same time, they want to improve the quality. And, and that's the biggest thing with digital marketing, I think, over the past few years, is that bar has gotten so low that everybody's like, hey, I'm a creator. And I'm glad that people think they're a creator, but it's just more stuff. It's not good quality content a lot of times.
Yeah. Really good points, right? We have to be a real creator. This almost also says, you have to be a real influencer, not a fake influencer. My challenge with this, though, is I wonder if this is going to spring up a cottage industry of buying YouTube subscribers, right? Not that it already hasn't been there, but even worse, right? So people get this. It certainly is on Instagram, so people can get to 10,000 to get the swipe up, and they have the crappiest followers of all time. I think that's fascinating to me. I mean, I watch, I follow a bunch of people, and I see some of them, 50, 60, 100,000 followers, 3 likes. Like, ooh, that sucks, right? So
or the comments crack me up.
Yeah, the comments. Yeah. Hi, I would like a kitten, please. Thank you. Can you please send me cheese?
By the way, I spend more time managing a lot of spam comments on videos than actually getting people to comment. Sometimes they'll engage, but they, you get a lot of spam from people that they try to throw off your content, I think. So, but keep that in mind. So that's part of the update from YouTube. And the other part also is something that's, this is pretty straightforward, but basically it's a whole swipe to access your camera on YouTube Stories. What do you think about this one, by the way, Phil or Jessica?
Easier is better, right? I mean, this makes sense. The whole swipe thing, this is how people navigate. This is, again, this is 1975 here, right? This is not new stuff. This is existing stuff. And that's nice that, that they managed to get Yoko Ono to be in the commercial there. That's a good spot there for her. Hopefully she doesn't break up Google, right? Alphabet. But we'll see. The Justice Department is going to do that for us, maybe. I don't know, Jessica, what do you think?
I'm just laughing at your comment. No, I think, ease of use, accessibility, kind of creating less friction for the users, always a wise move. So, hopefully they continue with this slew of updates doing just that. I know I've watched my kids' behavior and they go straight to YouTube and TikTok and Instagram, those apps. So I think they are wise to make those kinds of updates for the next generation that's looking for this kind of stuff. For as it relates to business, just getting them easier access to things, I think, is always wise. So what I would be looking for then as a business is, one, like, how could we take advantage of this? So I think whomever's creating like how-to videos on this really has a good opportunity to capture businesses and telling them how they can leverage these features.
Definitely. And by the way, if you do happen to, want to use the YouTube Stories feature and you swipe to the right, another thing, that's just a little house cleaning tip, I guess. Just make sure your camera on your phone, if it doesn't look clean, for instance, give it a quick wipe down, clean off that lens, so it's so that you look good on camera, because your smartphone has fantastic features built in. A lot of times people they kind of just they don't take care of their equipment, so take care of your equipment and it works great. So keep that in mind. But I also like the fact that this is very similar to Instagram, very similar to Facebook. You can add some effects. And I think that that's going to help, get people over that hurdle of it being a challenge for them to learn how these features work. There's not much of a learning curve to that. It's literally just swipe and tap on an icon that looks very familiar.
Yeah, I mean that's I think that's why we're seeing a lot of these ripoffs, right? A lot of them do the same thing because, frankly, the platform may not be familiar, but if the navigation is familiar, it's going to be much easier, much less of a learning curve. I do think that, again, if your audience is on YouTube and they're going to go to YouTube Live, well, fantastic. I don't know. I have not seen any businesses say, wow, yeah, YouTube Live is really the option for me. So I'm, I don't know. Maybe that changes, but this feels a lot like Google Wave years ago, where they roll this stuff out and it's really cool and it's got great features. And then it takes us 10 years to figure out what to actually do with it. And then they roll it into a brand new product. So perhaps that's what they're doing. I don't know, but lots of potential. Question is your audience there? And as we talk about, right, the key is to integrate this as part of your strategy. This is not a one-off thing. You cannot just pick up YouTube Stories and YouTube Live and YouTube Mobile and YouTube Creator or whatever and just do this. You have to really think strategically about, so how does this fit in? And if you're wondering about stuff like that, you should probably get our newsletter at dailychefs.com or socialchefs.com/daily, so you can get the daily news from Christian. He sends it out every single day. It's got some good stuff. Again, it's socialchefs.com/daily, and you get all the good stuff. We talk little strategy, little tools, a little bit of good stuff there, as well as the blog recap that we can get connected with Jessica. You get connected with all of us, and we can help you more. Again, that's socialchefs.com/daily to get your daily dose of social media marketing insight.
By the way, I'm sitting here with the comments, and we've got some great comments here. I think Natalia joined, she's talking about quality. I'm just going to bring this up for everybody. Quality. She feels many companies are stifling the potential for creativity because they're choosing quality creators. So lots and lots and lots of good feedback there.
Well, that's what I was going to mention with the live feature that you brought up, Phil, is that I feel like a lot of the creators that I'm following, a lot of the channels that I'm subscribed to, I see that they're using the feature. And that's kind of the telltale for me of if a feature is great or not, is if the people that have invested a lot of their business on a platform, if they adapt it or not. So I do feel like YouTube Live does have a lot of potential. I just think the hurdle is knowing, like you said, knowing how to use it. So I feel like since the creators are using it a lot more, it's going to equipped more businesses to really look into it and figure it out, and they should. But they've just been hit with so many things, updates, and just the barrier to entry is, really complicated for them because they don't know what to do, so they don't do anything. So I think it's really the most important thing for them to get some kind of strategy behind what they're doing and then figure it out from there.
Yeah, I totally agree. One of the interesting comments here, Natalia says LinkedIn has been the slowest rolling out live, and here's the my thought around that is when we think about any of these live platforms, what's the purpose? Like, why am I there now? LinkedIn, admittedly, the way that they've rolled this out has been clunky at best, annoying at least, right? It is really, 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 really frustrating with the way that they rolled this out. I mean, you can't see comments in real time. It's overtaken the platform, and they have like 13 people that have it, including some of their creators that say, here's their headline, testing LinkedIn Live. I have no desire to watch your testing video. No desire at all to watch your testing video. I want to see your content. I don't give a crap that you're on LinkedIn Live. I mean, really, I don't. I care about your content. I care about your entertainment value. I care about, is this something I can't get anywhere else? Not, is this something that is boring and that you're testing and that you don't know what you're doing and that for 7 minutes you're gonna say, so click. Hey, is this on? Hey, did anybody see this? Right? That's what I don't want to see. And so I really struggle with this. And Natalia makes a good point, right? If we're too exclusive on these platforms, well, we're going to burn people out because, frankly, I'm tired of getting notifications from people I don't normally see on my feed anyway that says, Joe Smith is live. Who the hell is that? I don't care. And why did LinkedIn pick them instead of me? Right? But I did see company pages. That's the interesting thing. I did see a couple of company pages go live last week, which is fascinating to me. Yeah. So, right. So that's what
I want right there.
Right. Which is
I've
why
followed Kathy Hackle. I love her lives. I've actually watched that LinkedIn Live probably longer than any other live besides. Live. Yeah, period. LinkedIn Live, I've watched longer. It's kept my attention longer because of the content that was there and the access to things I wouldn't have normally had. The people that I wouldn't normally have the chance to watch live because maybe we're not connected as friends on Facebook or on Instagram on a personal level, but I've been following them professionally. And that's what is exciting to me about LinkedIn Live. Like, Kathy Hackle, of course, we're friends, and I know she's been on the show, but she was interviewing, the team that was going live. NASA, basically, she was interviewing NASA, talking about how they 360 video lived the inauguration. Like hearing the backstory to that, I'm like, yes, please. Like, I want to know how you did this before this was a thing, right? And that kind of stuff, I think, is super intriguing. It will keep you on longer because it's not somebody that you're used to seeing live. But I agree. There's such thing as exclusivity and building up excitement to then where you're just like kind of ticking people off, right? To where then now they're like, okay, you didn't pick me and it's still not rolling out to everyone. I'm getting ticked off. And yeah, they do have a lot of tech issues to work out.
Yep.
Definitely. So
yeah, totally. And usability issues too. Let's be really clear here. This is still, I mean, as much as we joke about YouTube and Facebook and Snapagram and Insta Chat and all that crap, picking their own stuff, LinkedIn copied nobody. There's no reason for that. That's idiotic. There's no reason that they should have come up with their own platform by themselves, unless maybe Microsoft will buy MySpace. Maybe that's what it is. Because 3 years ago today, actually, Microsoft bought LinkedIn 3 years ago today. So that's fascinating to me that's how this works, right? So.
Bringing it back old school. I need to Google now, see if my MySpace is still out there.
There you go. It is. I try to add you as a top friend, but you keep denying me, Jessica. I'm kind of disappointed, actually. So Christian blocked me, too. He says I'm too much of a stalker. So if you could add me to your top 6, that'd be great. Thanks. I'll send you an emoji, GIF, smiley. There you go. That's it, right?
So done. Updates this week from YouTube, by the way. So we've got the @mentioned stickers. We've got the easy camera shortcut. Phil, where do we want to go next? What are you thinking?
Where do we want to go next? Boy, so many different things that we could do. Let me think. So let's go to Facebook, right? Mobile video ads and the new video creation kit, I think, is a good place to go because let's stay on video. here,
Yeah.
because I think this is good, right? This is the way that video should be. The goal is to make it easier, not to make it harder, right? I want it to be easier, not harder. So this is pretty cool. I don't know. Big news here. So basically, they're making this tool easier to make better video by converting static images and text into some good video ads, and they're optimizing for mobile. So Jessika, are you doing this, or did you have to do any of this for Social Media Week Lima, or what?
No, I haven't done it for Social Media Week Lima, but I've done it for a crap ton of clients, and it's made my life so much easier with their templates that are there, and the layout. I mean, what would have taken me an hour plus, I've been able to do in minutes. So I completely am excited about this. I was actually surprised. I went in to create an ad like I normally do, and I was like, what is this awesomeness? And seeing the template in there, and was super excited. So I created a couple ads for clients, and then I just kept going. I was like, man, I'll just rock these out really quickly. So I love that they have the templates there. I think for people like me, like agencies that are managing client work, it's going to save them time. For businesses, it's going to allow them to up the ante with their ads, so they don't look so bad, and it will give them ease of use for, creating them, since the templates are already there. I love it.
Yeah.
And I love the save feature, so you don't get your work lost. Like that was the big thing,
you
like that was a big thing. Yeah, you can save
awesome.
it and come back. There's been so many times I've started something at the office amongst my 18 tabs that are open and kind of forget that I was there, and go back home to pull up my computer and be like, oh my God, I have to start over because it timed out or whatever. Here, you can save it and come back to it, which is awesome.
No, I think this is a fantastic update from Facebook. The fact that you could quickly throw together your content for different placements, the fact that they're adding additional fonts, the templates, the ability to save. I mean, this is a win-win-win situation for anyone who wants to create video ads. And they also have another feature, which I think is pretty handy, is or their use of seasonal ads with stickers and templates and whatnot. That, for instance, and Jessika, you probably know this. You have a lot of people, they publish, hey, here's what's coming up this month on social media. And just because it's not necessarily directly about your business, it's a way for you to also keep your customers updated about what, is going on. You become a resource. And I think that, by having some of these stickers and additional seasonal ads, I think that will help people get out of that creative block, that they kind of run into a lot of times.
Although their stickers look like they were imported from clip art. So I'm not really
clip art. I want to add Clippy to my stuff, right? All my videos, I'm going to add Clippy to mine. He's going to be my little friend there. Christian, that you've been booted from the show. It's going to be me, Jessika, and Clippy next week. Terrible, right? Like, give me some better stickers, man. Don't make them look like they're. You know what it is? I think it's.
I love it. They love retro stuff, but me, I was like, what?
They're going to be scratch and sniff.
Yeah.
Jessika, didn't you hear? That's the next phase of Facebook. They just bought a smell-o-vision company, and they're all going to be scratch and sniff.
That is a thing, actually.
I do. Of course I do.
The 5D or whatever experience they call it. Yeah.
So this is a big update, I think. I mean, and I'm going to drop the link in here, but basically, if you want to set up your own template, you want to get used to using this feature, this is very, very, very easy to use. So I think this is
cool.
A win-win all the way around.
Awesome. That's good. So any more on that, or we want to move on to the next topic? Have we kind of killed this one?
Yeah.
I just pulled up a quick screen, but basically, this will make it easier for you to create these video ads within Ads Manager. You also get the option within Pages as well under your publishing tools. So just check out this link. Pretty much all the instructions you need are going to be right there. But yeah, where do you want to go, Phil?
So I think we should jump over to Skype real quick.
Okay.
Because this is interesting. While many people don't think Skype is a social network, I would argue that Skype is a private social network, which actually makes it super useful for small business. Because sometimes, I don't want to have a conversation with my customers in public. Sometimes I want to take it private. And this is big. They finally are doing something with the mobile, because the mobile app has not been touched since Microsoft bought Skype in 1957. So this is fantastic news. It's finally screen sharing on mobile, now allows us to share. Now I'm really curious though, like how does Apple, like how do they multitask? This is really interesting to me. I'm very curious because Apple has been notoriously bad about one thing on screen at a time. So how do they split screen? How do they do this? Do I have to turn my phone sideways? Can I still use it in the bathroom? Those are the questions I've got. Jessica, what do you think?
I'm still imagining when you said 1957 that it was back to you like rodeo dialed your friends or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
But no, I do like this feature. I really like that they have, gained some inclusivity where it's going to give you the way to see the comments on screen, not just comments, excuse me. It's actually going to transcribe what you're saying back and forth. So I think that's a huge feature for people that are potentially, disabled, or they are wanting to communicate with someone else, but maybe miss something that they said because of a lag or something. You can still go back as long as it's transcribed well. That's the caveat. I want to see what it looks like because it could be like one of those bad voice to text messages where you're like, I really didn't say that. You could start some fights. But I do love that this is on mobile because so many people, that's all they have anymore when they're traveling or on the go or, at an event where they just need to pull up their mobile device. But yeah, I have the same questions as you, Phil. How's the multitasking going to be and how seamless is the process going to be? Because a new feature is only as good as how it's going to roll out for you without bugs, right? So that's all the questions I have, the same as you.
Yep. Christian, do you have this yet? Have you seen this?
I have not seen it yet, but I have used some other apps that do screen sharing on iOS, and I will say, very easy to use. For starters, fire up Skype, just tap the little dot menu, which is new, and then you'll have, as Jessica mentioned, you'll have their subtitling. There's also the ability to record video, which is pretty handy. But
that's huge.
Works.
That's huge.
Yeah. I use the swipe up on call center at the bottom of your iOS device and just record that way, and you can narrate. But works exactly the same. And chances are the way this is going to work, you're going to probably you double tap on the screen and whatnot, and you'll be able to it'll basically record everything you're doing versus let me cut out that part, for instance, in the video.
That's huge. That's interesting. Does that mean can I use it by myself then, so that I can record tutorials, or do I have to be on the phone with Jessica here to make this work? Christian, do you know?
If I were so here's the thing: if I were going to do a tutorial, I would use Call Center, the built-in iOS recording, where
that works great.
It's the exact same screen that you see there, that third screen on Skype, but it's the exact same screen. You select your the app you're going to record from, basically, if you want audio, and then it just basically records what you're doing within, in this case, the Skype.
And it's called Call Center?
Yeah, it's built into your phone. I use it all the time. Yeah. What I love about this, though, or how I could see a business use case for this, there's so many things like within your website or an app where, like, even for the conference that you mentioned, where people are like, where do I put in my coupon code? Or they need walked through the process or something. You could quickly jump on a call, record it while you're showing them, and then save it and then share with anyone else that's maybe having the same questions, or just send it back to them so they can show maybe the rest of the team how to do something. There's been a lot of times where I've had to walk people through on adding an admin to Facebook or whatever, and from mobile, right? Like little things that are on mobile. I could definitely see this being used, especially for people that own an app or maybe have something on their phone. Take advantage of it, because this is a way easier way of doing it than me holding up my phone to a screen when we're on a desktop trying to show them how to do something or recording it without walking them through.
I did that a long time ago.
Yeah, and they're like, you can see this, right? No, okay.
It's like, let it focus. Yeah. So by the way, speaking of that, this is actually it's actually a little tip. So this is what I do for the show. Sometimes what we'll do with some of the apps is we'll open the app, we'll record a short video of it. And then what I will do is I will upload it to, I use Cloud app. And this is a tool basically, and I can go there and I can store the video, and I get a link that I can send out to people that they can quickly access the video, the audio, and whatnot that's there. So it's a great way to tap into this feature.
I also love that it's coming to different languages here shortly too, Christian. What did it say, 20 additional languages for subtitling here in the near future?
Yeah, a bunch. Let's see, how many languages do we have here?
Even more than that, but yeah. Here shortly it'll be rolling out.
And it's iOS and Android. So no one's being, people that are Android users aren't going to be, lacking this feature. Everybody's getting it. iOS 12 and up. If you're using iOS, they have iOS 13 coming out soon, but iOS 12, but fantastic update. I like this update personally. I think this is a great update.
Might have to check out Skype more often now. I'm with you, Phil, when you said that this is a social network. I firmly believe all of these, the private networks, are actually going to see the most growth over the next few years. Like my favorite social media app that I always give the answer to is Messenger. Like I feel like the private messaging is what more people are leading to because of so many of the trust issues. It kind of gives you a false sense of security.
Yet you trust Messenger, which is a Facebook app.
Yeah.
That's
which
really interesting.
I do. I use it often. It's probably more ease of use for me, and I'm still a Facebook fangirl, even though they've come under some fire. I know some more that we'll talk about. They're trying to change that perception, but I don't know. I still trust them.
But I 100% agree with you that, everything is moving towards private messaging. I mean, I just fired up the Skype app to see if I happen to have the ability to screen share on mobile. And I have features such as, hey, I can share photos and videos and contacts. I can share my location. I can schedule a call with somebody. I can create a poll. I now have Microsoft OneDrive tie-in as well. So
that's awesome.
A lot of features that, again, this is through Skype. It's not, it's not really a public like social network. So very, very, very good update, I think, from Skype here.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Interesting. That's cool. That's cool. That is a big move. Well, let's talk about Facebook privacy. Let's move right in that, Jessica. That's a good segue for us here. Let's talk about some of their moves that they're doing to try to be a little more friendly and a little less corporate-y. Though I will say, did you also see that the news came out today or this week, that Zuckerberg actually knew that there was privacy things, that there's privacy concerns, that they were sharing data, which surprises me not, right? Mm-hmm. That being said, I think this is a good move, right? The fact that Facebook is trying to do more, and eventually that maybe they're going to pay us to give up our data, which that is fascinating to me, right? So you don't have to pay to be on the platform. They're going to pay you to give up your data. How many fake accounts are going to be set up just to sell their own data, right? That's the question I've got, but that's a whole nother topic today. But as we look at this, right, Facebook study. Christian, why don't you tell us more about what the heck this is, man?
Bottom line, it's an app. It's basically an app that Facebook's rolling out. And what they want to do is they want to make it reward-based market research is pretty much what it is. For you sharing information with Facebook, obviously, if you're approved for the program as well, it basically just helps Facebook collect the information and reward people for giving that information away. Pretty straightforward. Android only, I think they tried it on iOS, and iOS did not allow it in the App Store.
Which I'm kind of mad about. I want it.
That's interesting. So hold on. So let's talk about that, because I think that's an interesting point here. The fact that it was denied from the iOS App Store tells me that there's some monetization inside of here that Facebook wasn't willing to give up. That's what it tells me, because we know that even a
privacy. I think Apple is just very anti-Facebook privacy, because they've always been about privacy, and they shut anything down that's going to compromise somebody's privacy in their mind.
I think it's money. I think it's money.
Yeah, that too.
Because I think Facebook, they'll sell their soul to the devil, and Apple it clearly is willing to be that devil if you give them 30% of whatever you make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just saying.
But I don't understand. I mean, I honestly, if you think about it in terms of other ways that your data is being collected, one, like the old-fashioned mail. For whatever reason, opened one of those market research letters that came in. There was a $5 bill in there that was for this market research that they wanted you to fill out. So if you guys get any at your house, at least take the $5 out before you throw it away. Nice. But just so you know, it encourages you to want to submit in. I wonder how many of $5 has been thrown away. Anyway, that's regardless. But they want your information and your buying habits. Google's already collecting it as well. What I don't understand is how this is any different, because it's a social app that's collecting your information. So, I mean, granted, you may be giving them a little bit more than what's being collected maybe on Google, and Google is just doing it through what you're searching versus what you're actually doing all the way across the web. But I mean, our data is getting collected. It's anytime you're on the web. Now you go to websites and it's letting you know that, but it's always been collected. So I get that Facebook's got a bad rap for it, but I mean, what did you think you were getting? Just something for free for nothing? Like,
And that's the key thing people have to remember. Like, if something is free, like it's probably too good to be true. Nothing is ever free. There's always some cost, something you're giving up. For example, George mentioned here, he uses Google Rewards, takes surveys in exchange for credits at the Google Play Store. And hey, in his case, he gets a bunch of expensive apps for pretty much free, for giving up a little bit of his time or giving up a little bit of his data. I think that, again, I mean, people, like, you're not going to literally get something for free. There's something that's going to be taken.
And just be smart about like some of the stuff that you're putting out there. If you don't want your birthday out there, I don't put my kids out there, their names, their information, that kind of stuff. Just be smart about it. But I, for one, I hate ads in general, but if I am going to be served an ad, I want it to be specific to something that I want. So the only way to do that is for them to understand my behavior.
Right. Exactly. Because otherwise they're trying to shoot an arrow at a target that, is a moving target basically at that point. So,
yeah, but I think it's cool that they're willing to pay for it even more.
Definitely. And I also have been reading something also about Facebook also doing some compensation. And this was actually an additional thing they were doing. They were talking about compensating for, I think it was video actually, it was the cryptocurrency. It was Facebook cryptocurrency, actually. They were talking about how Facebook is going to likely use the interest that's generated from cryptocurrency as well as a way to pay. So, I mean, essentially what they're building here is almost like a Google AdSense or an AdWords program where a user can get paid for using, in this case, Facebook properties. So
yeah, and for like George, by the way, hey George, I think that's a win for people. Like they can use it for something else. So yeah, in my mind, it's a win. But I understand the concerns as it relates to privacy. I think what ticks me off more about privacy are the apps that are actually readily available to anyone in the public, like Spokio and some of those. Not Spokio, but it's some of the apps where you can just search somebody's name and it tells you as much as they have dug up on a person. And, that's public facing. That's the kind of stuff that I don't like. But for this to just make better ads, I think is a win.
No, definitely. And in addition to this, I have up on the screen here, like some of the things that Facebook basically is going to be collecting. So they're going to be collecting the apps you have installed on your phone, the amount of time that you spend using those apps. And this is stuff that might be a little dicey for people, the person's country, like their device, their network type. So they're going to know what kind of phone you're using, what location you're at, and also which network you're on, as well as different app activity names and whatnot. But they're not going to collect your Facebook ID.
Google's already doing that with analytics, and we're not getting paid. So
no.
Yeah, good points. Absolutely great point.
So I personally, I don't have a problem with this, but I think it's a good move. Again, it's also potentially a revenue stream that you could be generating for your business as well. I don't want to say you're going to make a ton of money off it, but it could be a little bit to like help fund different parts of your business. So
buy me a 6-pack a week of craft beer, and we can be friends. It's all good.
I'm going to drop a link here, by the way, for anybody who wants to check out the Facebook Study app, and if you want to apply for it, pretty straightforward. Earn money for sharing how you use your apps. Pretty straightforward.
Awesome. Yeah, folks, and if you want more of that and you want to make sure you get all the links that are shared today, make sure you go to socialchefs.com/daily so you can get that newsletter and get all the information that's there. Not a lot of fluff, just good information you can use for your business to social media market more effectively. Again, that's socialchefs.com/daily to get your daily dose of goodness. So
that's
let's move into
that's my team's training, by the way, for the week. I'm like, just read this. This is everything you need to know.
There you go. There you go. That's what we like to hear.
We talked Facebook, we talked Skype, we talked YouTube. Do we have any other topics, or do we want to go into our favorite segment?
Oh, I think it's segment time. I think it's time to transition the segment. Jessica, have you seen Christian's badass Tool Time dance yet? It's really good.
What?
Yeah,
I don't even know what this dance is because I have never seen it.
Oh, and there he is. He's dancing. Everybody watch. Christian's dancing. It's Tool Time. It's Tool Time. Dance.
You know how to salsa. What is that?
That's it. Yep. It's a little merengue, a little salsa, a little Cabbage Patch, and a lot of the sprinkler. That's all I'm saying. So you can see it there. Oh, darn it. Christian had an interstitial there. You guys missed him dancing, but you could have seen it. It was awesome here on Tool Time with Social Chatter. So, Jessica, left hand or right hand, which tool do you want to pick? You pick the first one.
Ooh, I'm kind of excited for the buffer one, actually.
Ooh,
I don't even use buffer, but I was like maybe I
You will.
So
Cool.
what
I'm a huge Agora Pulse fan, but this is cool.
So can you tell the viewers about this one, Jessica?
Oh, okay. So instead of always changing out your link every time you want somebody to go to purchase something or go to your site to view the thing that you're posting about, Buffer has actually rolled out Grid, where you can post multiple images and actually have a custom link that will host multiple ways of buying all the images featured instead of just one image for one link. So they've created this grid where you can schedule it as well, where it automatically will update not only your posting, but also your link right there to get to it. So
awesome.
Somebody please send this to Agora Pulse so we can get it.
So,
right. Yeah. So let's hit Mike Alton up with that, right?
Yes, please.
I will say I like this feature. I mean, I like the fact that, you can add multiple bio links to your Instagram. Basically, it's going to create a shop page, a grid. But in addition to this, the fact that it ties into Buffer to me is really handy.
So smart, so smart. For all the people that don't have Shopify, I mean, it's been a nightmare. They're like, do we rebuild our site? What, and I think this is that problem solved for them, right? And better for the customer too, their customers, I should say, to get to it. Because like, how long do I leave the link up in my bio? And it's always changing out. So this is super smart, I think, by Buffer.
Definitely. And the key thing here, I think also is you can try this for 14 days. And that's not just trying the Buffer shop grid, as they're calling it, but basically what they're doing is they're giving you, you're going to have to get the Buffer premium basically, which I think is like $65 a month. So you're getting a combination of two different tools.
Yeah. This should make Buffer a little stickier as an app. It certainly also cranks up the cost for most people. So it takes your nut from 15 to 65, which is interesting. But again, for a business that is all about this, if you do shopping, I mean, think about this. This could be, 5 or 6 $5 sales, right? If you get the 5 or 6, bigger sales, right? More than $5 sales. That's what I meant to say. Yeah. So that you can actually pay this back. And if you're not getting 5 or 10 sales a month off your stuff, extra off your social interaction, you have problems. You got bigger problems. So yeah.
And for influencers to track the sales too, where you don't even also have to have for brands, you don't have to do potentially, hopefully, as many ads to actually get the shop link. Now you just use this link. So I would say definitely worth the $65. I mean, if you work it, I should say, but that feature alone, I think, is super smart. And I could definitely see them not only making it stickier for the people that are using them now, but also getting a new slew of users just exclusively for this feature. Definitely. So I don't know anybody else that does that.
Nope, I don't either.
So,
and I will say, for those of you, like if you don't want to go the Buffer route, which has the scheduling and the Instagram shop grid, which is a $65 basically charge for the two, there are other Instagram bio link tools. I'm going to drop a article that we put together, which basically has access to like just a whole slew of tools that also make it easier to build a grid, to build a landing page basically for your business to be able to promote your Instagram links. But if you want everything built in, this gives you the scheduling feature. It gives you the Instagram shop grid, $65 a month. To me, that's a no-brainer. So
totally agree.
So
totally agree.
Tool, by the way, anything else you want to add on the Buffer shop grid?
Nope.
So the next tool, in my opinion, is a pretty fascinating tool. It's actually a great deal as well. It's $27. It's supposedly a one-time purchase. It is Designrr. It's basically a way for you to create or to automatically create ebooks basically from your website content, your Facebook content, and much more. Jessica, have you tried this tool at all?
No, but I sent Designrr to my designer and told him his life is about to get a lot easier because I was going to purchase it as soon as I was done with this. I have not tried it before, but it looks really cool. I watched their video and it shows where you could just plug in URL into their app and essentially pick then a theme and then your font selections, and it literally will create an ebook for you in 2 minutes. Like he literally showed how it could be done. But then you could do a lot more with it. You could add multiple URLs in there. So I was thinking, okay, I have all these, blog articles on, SEO and then some on web. Like I could just add them together and build my ebook now. Instead of sending it into the designer, waiting for him to complete it. Like I could do it on my own and feel super fancy.
And you get 100 plus templates. You got a whole bunch of Google fonts, so you don't have to think like, well, hey, everything's going to look the same. You've got lots of access to that. You've got unlimited copyright-free images, publish unlimited ebooks. You get the free commercial license as well. $27 lifetime license.
I could have used this yesterday. I was doing a presentation on how to handle negative feedback online. And I was like, oh, I have a blog on it, but I don't want to print off a blog and give to everyone. And I don't have time to design a handout. Bam, like this would have solved my problem.
That's a great idea.
Uh-huh.
I really like that, Jessica. I mean, that does, right? So I can totally see how maybe you give a presentation, you get it transcribed, you turn that into a blog post, it comes in, and then you can add some images so it looks different than your presentation, but is a wonderful complement to the presentation.
I would add these to the bottom of all your blogs. Like if somebody loves your blog and potentially wants to print it off and like, hey, did you find this information useful? Don't worry, we've created an ebook for you. Like, and that's a awesome value add, which is going to keep people coming back to your website. You could even then create a resource center just out of the same things that are in your blog, but in a PDF version.
Yeah,
I have
totally
plans for this tool. I'm going to make that $27 go a long, long way.
Straight to moneymaker. Yeah, that's awesome. So Christian, drop that link, baby. If you haven't dropped it, check this out, folks. I mean, for $27,
lifetime.
Lifetime. Let's say you make one ebook. Even on Fiverr, it's going to be $50.
Exactly.
This is awesome.
Yeah, I was like, what?
I personally, I like so I go the route that Jessica goes, which is I turn some of my content into ebooks. What I'll also do with it though is I might write an article and then I'll actually make a bit of an add-on or a content upgrade, basically, as people like to call it, where people can read the article and hey, they can download an ebook that has some additional information on, might have examples and whatnot that I've put together. So very, very, very useful tool. Works with websites, Microsoft Word, Apple Pages. So you got the whole, iOS, Android thing covered there, Google Docs, any sort of editor, Facebook post and whatnot. So really, really good tool. And $27, seriously.
Awesome.
Worth trying for $27. If you don't like it, big deal. It's $27. So
cool.
Very, very good tool. So Jessica, any other thoughts you want to add on this particular tool?
No, I just can't wait to use it.
So I want to thank everybody, by the way, who's watching. I've got a couple of comments here. We've got Mario Diaz giving us some love. Great show. Thank you a lot for tuning in. Phil, anything you want to add? Any parting thoughts?
Well, first parting thought is remember you need a strategy, right? Don't just go making ebooks. Don't go using these crazy tools and go silly on this. Because while that's fun, it's not going to be profitable. You need a strategy. That's why we do the show every single week, right? We're trying to give you the new stuff, but get you to think differently about how you might integrate this into your business. That's the first thing I just want to remind folks. And the second thing is I want to give a big shout out to Jessica for Social Media Week Lima. Holy crap. Yay. That's next week. Super glad. I have a ticket. Unfortunately, I cannot attend. So Jessica, I'm wondering, are we able to donate my ticket to anybody who might be thinking last minute? Can we donate just my ticket to somebody?
Sure.
Can we do that? So, cool. So anybody who's watching, listening, however you're seeing this, if you reach out to Jessica, you can get my ticket. And if you want another one, Jessica, where would they go? If they're last minute Sally's here and they want to get a ticket still, where would they go?
Yeah, you can go to sociallima.com and all the event info, the details about the speakers and the agenda and where to stay, how to travel in, all of that can be found there as well as getting your ticket.
Cool.
URL again?
sociallima.com. You're there, actually. It just redirects you to that page. It's on screen.
So I just dropped that in the comments for those of you watching on Facebook. But it's a fantastic conference, as I mentioned. Definitely something worth attending. I can't wait to be back at Social Media Week Lima. And I know they've been building out a lot of fantastic things. So This year's theme is what? You're talking about creating.
It's craveable. So how to create an irresistible brand to keep your audience coming back. So all the 28 plus speakers will be covering those topics, and as it relates to the platform that they're working with or the ideology that you should embrace into your strategy to really get your audience coming back.
Awesome.
And that's the key thing. I mean, like, as you both have mentioned here, I mean, it's not about like, hey, I can create more content. You have to create things that your audience is interested in, and if you don't know what that is, ask your audience, and you have to have a strategy with what you're doing. It's not just, let me publish more content. Oh, all of a sudden, that wall is going to fall someday, and hey, everybody's going to just really know about my brand. You have to do a lot of things. You have to build relationships that Jessica's always talking about. You have to have a strategy. You have to execute things a certain way. So there's definitely a lot of work that goes into it. But by the way, we have a great comment, by the way, from Lisa here. Sorry for interrupting here. Can you donate a flight from Australia as well, Phil?
Yeah, and I just replied to her with, I don't even know who flies out of Australia, but you know what? If you're listening and you work for an airline, feel free to donate a flight to Lisa Monk so that you can get one of our favorite social media influencers on a plane to come visit you. Jessica, that wouldn't take your heart out.
I would love it. Yes. I would love to see Lisa in Lima. I can't wait.
Lisa in Lima. Let's start that website.
Hashtag Lisa in Lima. It's a campaign.
Forward right to a GoFundMe. So if you'd like to get Lisa to Lima next year, you can pitch in. No, I'm just kidding. So, but that's fun though. That's pretty cool. But so Jessica, next week is the big day. What's the biggest thing that you're hoping happens as a result of next week's Social Media Week Lima?
Oh, I just hope everyone has a great time. That's the biggest thing. I mean, it has notoriously been a place where relationships are formed and careers have pivoted. So I'm just looking for that same great experience. We try to bring in speakers that are known, but also some newbies that are practitioners of what they're talking about, but maybe aren't as well known. And this is a great place for them to get their spotlight and go from there. Like Bella Vasta was there last year, and she's just exploded since, which has been awesome. So
cool.
I want to thank you I know you're busy, so I want to thank you personally for taking just a little bit of time out of your schedule this week. I know you've got a lot of stuff to get back to for Social Media Week Lima next week, but thank you so much for joining. I really, really, really appreciate it.
Thank you guys. It's always great hanging out with you guys. Have a good rest of your week.
Thanks, Jessica. Kick butt at Social Media Week Lima.
That's the plan.
Go Lima.
By the way, we're going to have a blog post recap go out tomorrow. You get that at socialchefs.com/SC195. That'll get the blog post recap. We'll have an Alexa flash briefing, as well as some additional topics from Snapchat that we didn't get to cover. And we will see you all next week, Phil. I think we've got Marissa.
Thursday at 11 Central. Yeah. Different time, because we got a West Coaster on next week. So Marissa Callie's joining us. So that's 8 o'clock Pacific, but that's 11 o'clock. So I'm taking off my lunch hour. Christian, you've got, I don't know what time of the day that is for you. It's probably like Friday or something for you. So I don't even know. But next week, 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern, 8 o'clock Pacific, we'll be here with Marissa Callie. So join us then.
So thanks a lot for joining, everyone. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.